Aloha MV peeps, Eagle here, and it's been a long time on this channel. Like, wow. I'm not going to use the word slacking, but I'm going to use the word slacking. Today is the start of the 12 days of Christmas Vlogmas type deal. You're getting 6 videos on this channel, alternating with my second channel, Eagle Unlimited, link down below. And there's gonna be 6 disc golf related videos here on this channel, and then 6 kind of lifestyle, whatever, related videos on my other channel. I'm in Hawaii right now, so what better place to make content than here? And to kick it off, as you've seen from the title, it is the boost versus aspect comparison video. And I'm gonna go out and throw some shots in the field to showcase the differences between these two discs. I'll give you a little bit of insight to what I think about both these right now. First off, the Boost is a newer distance / fairway driver. You can see the profile on it there. It's a 9.5 speed. I believe the numbers are on the screen right now, just so I don't mess it up. And then you have the aspect, and of course you see the numbers right there. So I do know that the Boost is a little bit faster than the aspect, and I feel like my gut is telling me that it's 1 less glide than the aspect, so probably about a 4 glide. And I'd say distance-wise, they're gonna go pretty similar distance. You have a little bit more glide with the aspect compared to the Boost, and in general, I'd say the aspect is a little bit straighter. It's kind of like I know Simon has said that it's kind of right in between the Fireball and Tesla, but I would definitely say it leans a little bit closer to the Tesla. I would honestly say this disc is kind of a little bit more towards a Fireball. I would say the best way to compare the Boost to the aspect. The aspect falls kind of like, it's really similar to, say, the Simon Proton Teslas with the Hummingbird stamp that recently came out, or last year, I believe. Some of those were pretty overstable, and I would say these fly pretty darn close to those. Whereas the Boost here, as you guys know, I like the Thrill, but as soon as this disc came out, I didn't really need to use the Thrill because it's kind of fits a similar slot, especially some of the earlier ones that got released, because they were even more overstable than this here Proton brick and mortar run. So I'd say the Boost is in between a Tesla and a Photon / Thrill, and the aspect is like a beefed up Tesla in general. On average, it's going to be a little bit more overstable than your typical Tesla, and you can kind of see right here. I'll try to demonstrate the differences in, you can screen cap it if you're that kind of person. But yeah, honestly, like pretty similar shape. The aspect is deeper in the hand than the Boost. For me, the Boost is the perfect switch hitter between forehand and backhand. You definitely have that setup with the aspect as well. For me, I feel like the Boost is a disc that you're gonna have a little bit more longevity with. You're gonna cycle it in and out of the bag. I feel like the Boost is going to have a little bit more longevity than the aspect. For me personally, I'm going to put one in the bag, probably going to have 2 Boosts in at a time, one that's been seasoned in and one that's newer, that can be a little bit more overstable, whereas my beat up one is going to be that flip to flat, dead straight flyer. And then the aspect, I'm not going to have an aspect in the bag all the time, but I believe that It'll kind of cycle in and out if I'm playing maybe a more wooded course, and honestly, like I need more of a hyzer flip to flat shot where the boost is still can do that for me, but it's going to be more overstable and a little bit faster. But I think in terms of distance, they're going to be pretty comparable to one another. It's going to come down to your arm speed if you want something a little bit straighter or a little bit more overstable, which at least for right now, the boost definitely is the slightly more overstable disc. A little bit faster, but a little less glide. So in terms of distance, they're going to be pretty similar. But if you want to maybe more skip, the boost could be good. A little less skip, the aspect, you know, they honestly, you could have both in the bag. I mean, right off the bat, you're going to have the boost in the bag, which is going to be straight to overstable, and the aspect is just going to be like a slightly beat-in boost out of the box. But yeah, let's go over to Wailoa State Park in Hilo, Hawaii, and get some throws in to give you guys a better idea on what these discs do. All right, we're at Wailoa State Park in Hilo, Hawaii, and got the boost and the aspect. I'm gonna throw some like 60 to 70% fan grip backhands with the boost, same with the aspect. Nice and flat, hopefully, to showcase what this disc does. All right, that felt pretty good. Nice and smooth. Consistent finish to the left. Got the same disc, 171. Got a little bit more anhyzer on that, but has that consistent finish to the left. This is the one that's been in my bag, so it's a little bit more seasoned in. Could probably get away with throwing a little bit more hyzer. Yeah, for sure. Little hyzer pop up, dead straight, consistent finish to the left. All right, now with the aspect, I'm gonna do the same thing. I predict that these two are gonna go a little bit straighter, maybe flip up. They're a little bit slower as well, so give it a shot. We'll throw Ratanas first, which is a little bit more beat in. Yup. Little drift to the right, but it's still fighting at the end. It finished pretty flat. Got a little bit more overstable one, just baby hyzer. I yanked that one. My apologies. It is fighting out though. The one thing I will say about the aspect, it is a little bit deeper of a rim. So for me, the backhand doesn't feel quite as comfortable compared to the boost. The boost is pretty shallow, so I like the way I release the boost a little bit better for me personally. Ratana just put a flower in my hair. I'll roll with it. When in Hawaii, right? Got all the boosts right here. You see the aspect and the boost kind of went similar distances. I would say, generally speaking, they're gonna fly a very similar distance, because with the boost, you have, I believe, a 4 glide, but the aspect of 5 and the gyro. So even though it's a little bit slower, you're going to get a little bit extra push. So they're gonna fly about more or less the same distance, but the boost is gonna feel a little bit faster, I would say. Now I'm gonna throw probably 70 to 85% power grip backhand. Have a nice, somewhat framed up fairway here. This would be honestly the shot that I would throw these discs for a lot. Just kind of that controlled distance shot. I'm gonna throw the aspect first, hyzer, pop up to flat, drift a little bit right, maybe a little finish to the left. All right, I got my newer aspect here. I'm gonna try to throw it maybe like 15, 20 feet off the ground. I threw that pretty far left and it's drifting far right and it finished left. Hopefully you could see that flight. Gonna try to recreate it with this one. Maybe a little bit less turn, a little bit more point and shoot. That was a little bit low, but it's flying very nice. Whatever fairway in the world, that's going to be in the middle. So I'd say I did pretty good there. All right, we're going to try to throw similar shots with the boost. I predict that these are going to finish a little bit more left or a little bit more right. I'd say the left-right variance on the boost is just a little bit more, given that it's not gyro and it's a little bit wider rim, but going to be very, very similar. Only one way to find out. So I do that pretty flat. It's drifting right, very similar to the first. See if I can adjust a little bit, maybe a little bit higher, a little bit less anhyzer. Focus on that clean, smooth release. I have a little bit of headwind, I'll note that. All right, not as high as I wanted, but a good throw. Still push forward. Lastly, the one that's been in my bag, it's going to be the most beat up. Can give it a little bit more hyzer. I'm going to throw this about 80 to 85%. All right, that's the best throw of them all. That one's probably going the furthest. I think I got a little concrete, so we'll go up and see the comparison of them all. So first boost was here, then got the aspect number 1, or actually number 2. There's this guy. This one went actually pretty far. The pink boost is back there, which was a little bit low, but I believe my furthest shot should be, oh, it's back here. So honestly, I think the aspect might have went further, if not very similar distance. Wow, okay. They're honestly really close to one another in terms of distance. And honestly, I think for the average person, you're probably gonna see a little bit more distance out of the aspect, funny enough. All right, lastly, we got the forehand, which this is where both of the discs really shine. I would say the biggest comparison of the two, I would throw the aspect more for wooded technical shots. I have this really special beat up neutron motion in the bag that is pretty point and shoot for forehands, and if I ever lose that disc, I think the aspect would probably be the first disc I would try to replace it with. The boost, on the other hand, it's going to be a little bit closer to like a beat-in fireball slash beat-in thrill slash photon type of disc. Gonna be able to throw it on some anhyzer and get a consistent S out of it, where the motion is going to be a little bit more point and shoot with a little bit of a dependable fade to the right if you're right-handed backhand throwing a forehand. All right, let's throw them. I'm going to throw the boost first and then show you the aspect on the forehand. All right, I'm going to throw my beat up one first. And what I'm trying to get out of this is probably throw mostly flat, maybe a little bit of anhyzer, and just a nice soft finish to the right. Kind of like what you'd use a forehand for. This is kind of like my go-to scoring forehand disc. So if there's a 300 to 400 foot shot, I'm probably throwing the boost flat or a little anhyzer with that finish to the right. I do have a tailwind right now, so it's going to make it a little bit more overstable. Just like that. That's how I want a forehand to fly most of the time. Let's do it again. 3 for 3, same shot. Actually, no, let's switch it up. I'm gonna put some more anhyzer and try to get a little bit more distance and shape out of it. Just imagine a corridor of trees that I could force it over, push the left side and bring it back to the right. And I'll throw this one maybe a little bit lower and flat to hyzer release, just to showcase that. Yeah. Okay. Now for the aspect, I'm going to try to throw these point and shoot laser beams just flat and drive them forward. Going to have some tailwind, so it's going to probably finish a little bit to the right, but try to go for as straight as possible. I'll throw Ratana's beat up one first. Oh yeah. That's nice. And now, the last shot. Last forehand of the day, last throw of the day, and then we're going to the beach. Oh, I cooked that one a little bit. Is it with the fish? No. Yeah, I pulled it over a little bit, but you got a good showcase of what those did. I'm gonna throw it back to Future Eagle at the Airbnb to wrap up the video. Hopefully this gave you a good inclination on where you might like the boost versus aspect. I'll wrap it all up later. All right, thanks. All right, well, that was the boost and aspect. For me, I'm going with the boost, but that's not to say that I might reach for the aspect at certain times if it's a more wooded course, or if I want something nice and straight for my throwing style. I don't think you can go wrong with either disc, honestly. So whenever they come out, which should be Q1, Q2, hopefully maybe late Q1 is when you might see some releases from MVP involving these two discs. But I'm really stoked on them. I feel like the 9/9.5 speed slots are very well rounded now for MVP. You have the trail, which is a 10 speed, but kind of straight, and you can use either one of these discs as a really nice complement to the trail, or just cycle these in and out and create a really strong distance fairway game for yourself. These are great options. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this first video of the 12 days of Vlogmas. Be sure to go over to my second channel, Eagle Unlimited, to go watch some adventures in Hawaii. And before you guys leave, I just want to remind you that you can use this code right here, FREEGLE, until the end of the year at OTB to get free shipping. So I'll leave a link down there to go get some MVP discs, and honestly, you can get whatever disc you want. Just use code FREEGLE until the end of the year to get free shipping at OTB. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, keep on dreaming. Peace. It's good to be back.